As I wrap up this video, I thought it was important to say, remember that you are watching me troubleshoot an issue. You're not watching me tell you how to fix your motorcycle in this case. And go check out the team over at Lexan Moto, lexan-moto.com. Use the code GILSTRAP15 at checkout and get yourself something nice. Get yourself an intercom. They got new smart pumps for your tires, a whole selection of goods. GILSTRAP15 at checkout is going to save you 15% on your order. Thanks for watching.
What's up, YouTube? I'm Brandon. You were back in the Gilstrap garage, and y'all thought it was over for this one, didn't you? I did too. So, I think I had explained in the last episode of this bike build series, whatever you want to call it, that we had problems with the speedo harness and I changed it out. Well, the owner took it to the dyno tuner. I've never heard of this dyno tuner before. I don't know a whole lot about them. But here's what happened. So this bike had a Power Vision on it the very first time I worked on it. It looked just like this, okay? Then at some point around when I did his motor and everything, I put on a target tuner to pair with the Power Vision and encouraged him, go get your bike tuned. Said he was just going to run it with the auto tune on the target tuner, which is better than nothing, but you don't get to change any timing or anything in the bike. You're only changing air fuel ratios, but that, I mean, that's irrelevant. So anyway, he says, hey, I found a tuner that I'm going to take it to after we're done doing everything that we did in these last few videos. And I said, okay, they know how to tune to the Power Vision and to the target tuner, right? He says, yes. Takes it, and then he gets a hold of me and says, hey, the bike, when I shift into second or third gear, it's shutting off on me. Okay, that's weird. Sounds like a tune issue. That's what I tell him. He takes it back to the tuner, gets up on the dyno again, and then I get a call saying, hey, the bike was doing that, you know, you click in a second, it dies, and now the bike's completely dead. And they're saying, the dyno tuner is saying that it is it's an electrical issue. Like, obviously, yeah, it's an electrical issue. Something is going on. But they're saying it's all the work that I did to the handlebars and all that stuff. And that could be the case, okay? I'm not saying, oh, I didn't do it, you know, deal with it. I will do my part to make sure that everything is good on this motorcycle that I worked on. So I've gone through everything on this. And I've made some changes that I was kind of short on time for. So a little bit of a blessing in disguise. I just shortened up some wires and things like that, and ran some better heat shrink on some things. Not that it was bad before, it just could have been better, but I was out of time, you know? So I have been on this thing nonstop, looking at the schematics, looking at everything that I've done. Okay, I go to ride it yesterday. And it's idling fine. I put it in gear, go to take off. As soon as I click second, right around the time I click second, boom, bike dies. Start it again, boom, bike dies. I think I started it a third time, and then the main 40 amp fuse blew. Well, and let me back up, I missed that part. When the bike was brought back to me, the first thing I checked was the fuses. The battery fuse and the 40 amp fuse were blown. So something big's happening to blow that 40 amp fuse. So like I was saying, I rode the bike, fuse blew, okay, and now I'm out of fuses. These things are like $5 a piece. I can't just afford to, like, well, let me check it now. So, time out. Super long phone call. Sorry about that. If it looks like I'm exhausted, it is because I am. I'm working so hard to just stay on top of this, and it seems like it's near impossible. But I'm to the point now. Okay, so let me repeat it in case I didn't say it. I rode it around the block with the tuner hooked up, blew the fuse, disconnected the tuner, was able to go around the block, and it rode terrible because the O2 sensors are out. They pulled the O2 sensors when they put the Power Commander 5 in. They put the Power Commander 5 in when they ripped out the target tuner with the wideband O2 sensors, which does not make any sense to me. So I ran it. I think I got into like 4th gear even with the tuner unplugged. So I'm gonna do the final test right now because and that's the last part where I left off yesterday before I did some more checks today. I would put it in gear and just start to let the clutch out while I'm grabbing the front brake to put a load on the engine, and it was blowing the fuse. I was out of fuses because I only ordered, well, I think 2 before. No, just 1. Okay, I only blew 1 fuse yesterday. So I ordered new fuses. They're here. Everything is hooked up just like it should be, with the exception of the target tuner. So we're going to see if we can put a load on it with no tuner on it. And if it's okay, we're going to hook that up, and you're going to see how fast it stalls out. I might have to take it off of here if this is too slick. Then it's just going to want to burn out. We'll see. Alright, let's check it out. All this is a mess just because it's not tucked back in there. Start it up. So, I mean, you can see the tire was starting to slip, but it would put a load on it, bog down a little bit, then of course the tire would slip because it's on this smooth surface. But I don't think it even takes that much of a load to blow the fuse once we hook up the tuner. So let's hook the tuner back up. Now the only thing I did change out the voltage regulator because it was peeling up a little bit. I didn't notice that when I changed, I'm saying I would have noticed that when I put that brush guard on there. And it was not like that then, so maybe one of those things that could have just happened. I don't know. Okay, this is the Power Commander 5 that we are now plugging back in. Gray to gray, black to black. And now this run is likely going to cost me $5 blowing that fuse out. See, it's all out. Disconnect the tuner. That's not me giving it any throttle either. I didn't do it on the first one, I'm not going to do it on the second. Okay, just did stall out. Alright, I'm going to start this thing up. This is tuner disconnected. Yep. Tuner disconnected, and I'm gonna go to the point of almost doing a burnout. Right? I'm gonna keep the front brake on, let the clutch out, give it some gas, put a little load on it. You can see it wanting to walk. Right. Now we're going to connect the tuner. Tuner on. seats back on. Start it again to make sure that it doesn't happen. We are gonna ride this thing. And I've only got 34% left on the battery, so let's see what happens when we click second. That's third. Is an animal. Oh my God, there is nothing like that. God dang, I've never really actually opened this bike up, and to put this thing to the test so I can be sure that we're done working on it, oh, it's just getting opened up. Okay, we still got a short somewhere. We're losing communication, so hopefully we make it home. It'll be a long push. Something again, because I couldn't find anything with it off. It threw a code I'll put that code right here, what it was and what it described it as. But look, when I hit the throttle and blip it, it's when it starts to cut out. Why is it so inconsistent? What is going on? Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna check my plugs at the Speedo. It's Speedo or tack related, I think, right now. Maybe. I don't know. Ugh, it's driving me crazy. I'm at a loss. It's been a long time since I've been really stumped on something. I just put it up on the lift, got the rear wheel up because I was gonna see if anything changed as the speedometer went up or if it was just the tack. Went to start it. It was having a hard time starting, and granted, the tachometer is unplugged right now, and it blew the fuse. I was trying to get the fuse to blow earlier as I was changing certain things, kind of controlled environment. Then I put it back together and it blew. I'm losing my mind. I've spent 2 days looking for a short on this. Now I know that it's happening as the bike is running, okay? So I'm onto something. That's why I can't find, I've wiggled everything. I've tested connections, checked for grounds, checked resistance, checked everything that I've done and more. Everything that I changed and more. Oh, this is a good one. I wish this would have happened before it went to the dyno, so I would know it was my problem if it was something that I did. But at the same time, there's a lot that still makes me think it is something that changed with this tuner. A parameter, sensor, yeah, a parameter, like in a sensor, in the computer, in something. But why would it cause a short? Why would it short out? God, I'm losing it. Losing it. Couple more checks before I call it a night, because it is getting late. I made this little adapter here, so instead of spending $5 every time I blow a fuse, which I think I'm up to 3 now, I'll just smoke these little ones. I'll run a lower rating for the fuse. This one right here is actually a 25. I think I have quite a few of these 25s. So I mean, that would, oh damn, it didn't like that, and it blew it. What the? Yo, I am still working on this thing. I don't know where it left off. I think maybe my little fuse holder there. But reading through forums, I saw something that said check the IAC, idle air control sensor. They've cleaned it with the error code that is thrown. And I already picked a big chunk off here, but it has like this clay like material on there. So I'm gonna clean this up real good. I could hear it like making a noise or something while it was plugged in, and then you move it around and it would stop. So I'm kind of grasping for straws here without tearing this whole thing apart and throwing a bunch of, well, I mean, it's torn apart, but without throwing a whole bunch of parts at it. So just still plugging along. We'll find it. We're gonna get you. I'm really looking for that short. I pulled the battery box off. What I did find, this wire there's a little room in there that may be pinched. This hot wire coming off of the starter, I believe this goes to the voltage regulator. This part of the wire will feed in from the voltage regulator. Let's pull up the schematic. I've got a little legend here on where everything's going from. Okay. So we've got the wire straight to the battery. Okay, no, that's gonna come straight off of that main fuse. That may be our problem. So we've got, okay, hot wire off here from the battery. That little wire is gonna go straight to the back of the main fuse, which is the fuse that was blowing. And then from there, it goes to all those places I was saying. Starter, battery, PCM, fuse 2, fuse 3, ABS, 2 wires to the ABS module, which this bike does not have ABS, and the voltage regulator. So maybe we've got a pinch in there. I'm gonna pop the starter off and we're gonna check it out. I just disconnected that. Getting close, guys. Every next piece that we check puts us one part closer to the short. If that makes any sense, I don't know. Yeah, let's pull starter. So I'm doing all this on top of packing my entire garage, and my wife's kind of taking care of the house, but moving stuff, and it's a nightmare. I'm supposed to be working on the easy jobs right now, you know? What's that? Something fell. Oh, that could be a pinch, could not be. Maybe, maybe not. So I'm gonna connect all these alligator clips straight to the battery, since our battery is obviously not going to be hooked up here. And I want to check and see if we're getting the same ground readings off of our power probe, the same hot. Because there was one that didn't make sense to me when it was hooked up, but you would plug it in and it checked out fine. I was reading a ground where I didn't think we would be getting a ground. Go over to the other side. Hopefully I don't tangle all this, short this thing out. Okay, still getting the ground reading right there. But then you jump it and everything will kick on. Still racking my brain, but I did want to stop and say that I just received an order that I had placed for the bolster. This thing's not going to be a whole lot of help to me right now on an electrical job. This will really come in handy when you're tearing apart primaries and stuff. But check this thing out. It's oil resistant. Take your bolts, you stick them right in there. When you're pulling apart a primary or cam cover, doesn't matter so much, but you know, you're trying to keep the order of the bolts. You can organize them to how they came out, you know, if you got some longer, some shorter or whatever. That's bolster, patent pending. I did not get the bit driver. I really wanted to try this out first. I found a discount code on another YouTuber's channel and I used it. I reached out to these guys. Maybe we can work together in the future. I'm not looking to make any money. I just want to see a nice little American-made small business do well, and this thing I think is going to be really cool. We're going to put it to the test in some future videos. Check that thing out. Whether they supply a discount code or not, get yourself the bolster. I still am clueless on this thing. I think what I'm gonna do, I'm running out of time for today. Tomorrow I'm gonna button it all back up together and start chasing that throttle issue that I was playing with the other day. I still haven't found why the fuse was blowing. Maybe they're related, maybe they're not. I don't know, guys. Electrical is just one of them things. It's either done quick and easy or it's not. There's no telling what we're gonna find on this thing, because honestly, I am about clueless right now. So I cleaned up that sensor. It's not making the noise it was anymore. Checking all the connections. I don't understand. I need to verify that why, when there's no fuse in here and the power's all hooked up and everything, one of them they're showing as grounds until you put power to it, but it's not shorting because the fuse is staying good. This CAN bus is crazy. That's all I can chalk it up to, is the CAN bus. I don't know. I will know, I just don't know right now. Alright guys, check it out. Can you see that? Probably not. Probably not very good. This is a piece of heat shrink with 2 wires on that side, 1 wire on that side, and a little teeny tiny bump where the wire was exposed between the two. It got sharp. I thought, okay, so let me explain what that was. This little garage door opener, security system, whatever it is, was ran into here, and it was butt connected, and I hate butt connectors. So I took it out, soldered it, and I must have had a sharp joint still on my solder connection. So I cut well, when I saw that, I took my little alligator clip here, put it on the negative post on the battery, ran it over here, wherever it is, touched it, bam, blew my fuse. So I took a little bullet connector and I put that bullet connector on there. It's got like a heat shrink style fitting. Like, there are these little things right here. You put heat to them and they make a really good connection. And then I took some of this new fabric electrical tape that I have and wrapped around that. I'm gonna rewrap all this because it's all been cut open and stuff. And I'm gonna put everything back together. And I think our short may be fixed. I don't know if we still have an issue with our throttle though. We're gonna find out. Hello. All right, moment of truth, guys. I took it for a little ride around the block. It was acting real good. This is actually the customer's side covers I have right here that are gonna get painted. I don't think we gotta get on the freeway and do 140 miles an hour. So take a little putt. I gotta go get some paperwork too. My phone, wallet. covers, if you notice that they're missing, that's what's in the box. Have all that horsepower if you can't utilize it. Twinny poos. I talk. I've looked exactly like that on the bike with my wife. Sitting on this paperwork, the IRS can handle the envelope that's been on my woo doggy. Oh, yes. Well, that's it for this video, guys. One little exposed piece of a wire ruined a whole lot for me. But I stand by my work to the end, and if something's not right, I'll always correct it. So thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll answer all your questions, whatever, you know the deal.